Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Chosen one, you didn't stumble on this video. It found you. Just like the signs you've been feeling lately, even when no one else around you notices anything different. Something is building up, quietly, silently, but deeply. You've been hearing the knock of something in your soul, haven't you? Like an invisible summons you can't explain. That's not your imagination. That's divine timing. And it's no longer knocking. It's about to enter. Mark this date in your spirit. July 19th. Not because it's dramatic, but because something subtle and sacred is coming. And you must be awake enough to receive it. Not everybody will feel it. Most people will sleep right through it, scrolling through distractions and talking over whispers from Allah. But you have been chosen to perceive the signal. And it's not for entertainment. It's for transformation. Let me be very clear. You've been through some spiritual storms. Some of them you didn't even talk about. You thought Allah was silent. But silence is not absence. Silence is strategy. You were being restructured, and you didn't even know it. Now here's the truth. On July 19th, something will be activated inside of you. Not a fantasy, not emotional hype, but a shift so real it will demand you to either rise into it or run from it. And let me say this without sugarcoating it. If you ignore this, life will not go back to normal. You will feel misaligned. Because when the soul is summoned and you pretend not to hear, everything else in your life starts to lose flavor. But if you accept it, if you surrender, you'll start walking with a frequency that few understand. You won't have to prove yourself. You'll carry something. A vibration, a calling, a fire. Do you really think it's by chance that you're listening to this? Now? In a world of noise, why this message? At this precise moment? Because Allah is pulling the curtain back on what He has been preparing in the dark. And here's something that might surprise you. Sometimes Allah doesn't give you what you prayed for, because He's about to give you what He prayed over you. There are du'as made for you by angels you've never met. And on days like July 19th, they arrive in silence. Chosen one, I want you to stay with me until the end. Don't skip, don't scroll away. I'm going to guide you through this message step by step. And if you're still here by the end, I will give you a powerful dua that's meant to activate what Allah has already placed inside your chest. This won't be a regular prayer, it's a key. And I trust you'll know exactly how to use it. Now, get ready. Because when Allah selects a soul for His divine weapon, He doesn't announce it to the world. He whispers it to the heart. And that's what this message is doing right now. Whispering what your soul already knows. You were not made for average. You were chosen for impact. Being chosen by Allah is not about feeling superior. It's about carrying a weight others can't see, and most couldn't survive. It's not glamorous. It's not even obvious. In fact, when Allah chooses someone, the first thing He often does is strip away every comfort, every distraction, every illusion, until all that's left is raw soul and divine silence. Chosen ones are often misunderstood, isolated, and pressed through seasons where nothing makes sense. And yet, in those quiet chambers of hardship, Allah is doing something divine. He is preparing a vessel that can carry His fire. Think of it. Did Musa, become the voice of truth in front of Pharaoh without first being cast into the river, rejected by his people and exiled into a desert for years? No. The chosen walk through fire before they carry light. And maybe that's you right now. Maybe you're in a phase where Allah has disconnected you from the world. You can't relate to people like you used to. The conversations feel shallow. The places you once found comfort now feel hollow. Even your ambitions are shifting, but you can't explain why. It's because when Allah chooses someone, He reshapes their appetite. What once satisfied you now feels empty. That's not confusion. That's divine hunger awakening.
Here's a truth no one talks about. To be chosen is to be ruined for the ordinary. Allah begins to carve you from the inside. He lets you taste moments of sweetness, only to later test whether you'll crave Him or crave the feeling. And when He sees that you choose Him, even when He feels distant, that's when the real unlocking begins. Because the ones who still obey in the dark are the ones He trusts with the light. You may have been asking yourself lately, why am I so alone? Why do people keep walking away? Why do I feel like I'm in a season of pause? But let me flip that. What if Allah removed them to reduce noise so He could be heard more clearly? What if the isolation isn't punishment but a purification? And what if you're not stuck, but stationed, waiting for the next divine command? And here's something else. Allah doesn't announce the chosen. He hides them. You won't be the loudest. You won't always be seen. But the spiritual world already knows your name. The angels know when you cry at night. The jinn know not to cross certain boundaries near your home. And your du'as, though whispered, are documented like royal decrees. When Allah chooses someone, the entire unseen shifts around that soul. Heaven takes attendance when you rise. Let this sink in. If you've been feeling like life doesn't make sense anymore, if everything seems like it's being reset, you're not being rejected. You're being redirected. Redirected to something bigger than you imagined, something only someone with your scars could handle. That's the thing about chosen ones. They bleed before they lead. Don't envy those who seem to have it easy. Their roads are smooth because they're not being prepared for battle. You, on the other hand, are being sharpened, day by day, for something far more eternal. Allah never wastes the tears of the chosen. He bottles them. And on the day of judgment, you'll see what those tears became. Gardens, light, elevation. Let's be real. Some of you watching this are exhausted. Not physically, but spiritually. You're tired of carrying what no one sees. You're tired of waiting for doors to open. But hear this. Doors may open for many, but only chosen ones are sent through gates meant for our King. Don't settle for quick blessings when Allah is building you for timeless impact. And don't forget, July 19th is not about external change. It's about internal ignition. Allah is not interested in your status, your followers, or your image. He's interested in your readiness. He's not looking for celebrities. He's looking for servants. And servants who can endure silence, loneliness, and spiritual pruning. Those are the ones He launches as weapons in a world that has forgotten Him. You're not invisible. You're hidden. And there's a difference. Hidden things are protected, not neglected. If Allah has kept you in the shadows, it's only because the light He's placed in you isn't ready for public exposure yet. There are moments in life when nothing looks different on the outside, but everything shifts on the inside. The day changes like any other day. The sky looks the same. The world keeps spinning, but your soul knows. Something eternal just happened. That's what divine appointments feel like. Quiet explosions in the unseen. And most people miss them. Not because they weren't invited, but because they weren't aware. July 19th. It's not about a calendar number. It's about a divine arrangement. A private invitation from Allah to rise into something deeper. You've had whispers in your chest for weeks, haven't you? You've been feeling unsettled, like a reset is coming, like your soul is being prepped.
That's not anxiety, that's alignment. It's what happens when the heavens prepare to release something into the life of someone chosen. And when Allah prepares a day for transformation, He doesn't send fireworks. He sends frequency. You might not see angels. You might not feel a jolt. But you'll feel a sudden stillness, a strange clarity. Like the veil between the dunya and the unseen got thinner for a moment. That's not coincidence. That's divine nearness. Remember Laylatul Qadr? Most people slept through it, but a few souls were wide awake, not just physically, but spiritually. They were tuned in, attuned, synchronized with the will of Allah. And what did they receive? What was better than 1,000 months? Not because they were more worthy, but because they were more present. Presence is power. And that's what July 19th demands from you, not noise, not chaos, but presence. Spiritual awareness, emotional stillness, and complete submission. Because what Allah might deposit in your chest that day is not something that can be picked up in the rush. It will only be given to the receptive, to the souls who are still enough to hear and brave enough to say, I'm ready. Let's be honest. We live in a time where dates are flooded with distractions. People remember launch days, concert nights, birthdays, vacations, but forget the days where their soul shifted forever. The days where something unseen entered their life and never left. Why? Because they were looking outside for proof instead of looking inward for presence. But you, yes, you're different. And if you've come this far, there's a reason. You were meant to recognize divine timing, not just walk past it. You were meant to feel the movement of angels, not ignore them. You were created to wake up on a random morning and realize, today, my story changes. Here's a question only the chosen can ask honestly. What if July 19th is not about receiving something, but releasing something? What if Allah is trying to clear a space in you, not to give you more, but to remove what's blocking Him from fully working through you? Because sometimes Allah doesn't add, He subtracts. He subtracts distractions. He subtracts false friends. He subtracts toxic environments. And then, He deposits destiny. Let this be clear. Spiritual shifts don't always come with signs and sirens. Sometimes they come in the form of a quiet video like this. A strange tug in your heart. A sentence that hits deeper than usual. A shiver in your soul that doesn't go away. That's how the divine moves. Not with drama, but with precision. You won't need proof that something entered you on that day. You'll feel it. In the way you suddenly see life differently. In the way sin starts to feel more sour. In the way your salah feels heavier, like you're finally praying, not performing. In the way you suddenly walk away from things you once chased, and chase the things you once ignored. When Allah selects a date to encounter you, it won't come with a drum roll. But if your soul is alert, you'll sense the whisper before the wind shifts. So prepare yourself. Not by fearing what's coming, but by emptying your hands. You cannot carry a divine weapon with fingers still clinging to what Allah already asked you to release. Let's get something straight. You weren't chosen to be soft. You weren't chosen to be pitied. You were chosen to be sharpened. When Allah puts His hand on a soul, He doesn't leave them where He found them. He cuts, He tests, He purifies. And it's not because He's cruel, it's because He's crafting something dangerous to darkness. You are not a victim. You are becoming a weapon. Think about it. Every single prophet carried wounds before they carried wisdom. Every wali tasted loneliness before they walked in legacy. Even our beloved Prophet Muhammad wasn't just sent. He was shaped. He was orphaned, rejected, tested in every direction before the Ummah ever called his name with love. Why? Because divine impact cannot be built on comfort. It must be built on conviction. You, who have been broken quietly, misunderstood constantly, and ignored publicly, you are being refined, not rejected. What you called pain, Allah calls preparation. And all that fire you've walked through, it wasn't sent to burn you, it was sent to forge you. Iron becomes a blade through heat, and a blade becomes a sword through strikes. Every heartbreak, every delay, every unanswered dua, they were not punishment. They were pressure. And pressure always precedes power. Do you really think Allah is wasting your tears? Wasting your patience? Wasting your silence? No. He's bottling every second of it, storing it. Because weapons forged by Allah are not made in public. They're made in solitude. While others are performing, you were being purified. While others were visible, you were being made invisible. So your power couldn't be stolen before it was matured. And now something is beginning to shift. You're feeling it. You're sensing that you're not the same anymore. The things that used to distract you now disgust you. The environments that once made you feel alive now feel spiritually dead. That's not confusion. That's what it feels like when Allah begins to activate His weapon. But here's the warning. Don't run back to what He rescued you from. If Allah took you through all that pain just to prep you, then why shrink yourself just to feel comfortable again? Don't choose ease over elevation. Don't settle for healing when Allah is trying to launch you into warfare against darkness. The Ummah doesn't need more people who look religious. It needs more people who are spiritually lethal. You were made for that. You were built to carry something heavy. And July 19th might just be the moment where Allah stops whispering and starts commanding. When a chosen soul awakens, the unseen world shifts. Even if the physical world doesn't clap. You might think nothing happened on the outside, but the moment your spirit says yes to Allah's assignment, something echoes across the unseen like a divine announcement. This one is ready. Now that you know July 19th is more than just a date, it's a spiritual gateway. You must prepare yourself intentionally. Preparation is not just about rituals. It's about cultivating a heart ready to receive, a soul that refuses to waste what Allah has planned. Before July 19th, begin with deep sincerity. Slow down your life and slow down your heart. Engage in dhikr. Repeat the beautiful names of Allah, especially Al-Qadir, the All-Powerful, and Al-Hafiz, the Protector. Let these names echo inside your chest until they become your armor. Fast if you can, even if it's just a few days. Fasting isn't just hunger, it's purification. It clears the fog in your soul and sharpens your spiritual senses. Pray tahajjud, even if it's only a few minutes. It's the hour when angels descend closest to the earth, and when your soul can speak without interruption. Clear your environment from toxicity. This means both physical clutter and toxic relationships. Avoid social media if it distracts you. Refuse negative company. Your soul cannot be weaponized while it's weighed down by chaos. Then, after July 19th, the real test begins. The spiritual shift you feel will not be a permanent high. No, it's a calling to greater responsibility. You'll notice your prayers may become heavier, your heart more sensitive, your desires reshaping. Embrace that. Keep a journal. Write down what you feel. The dreams, the whispers, the sudden urges to change. Because the more you observe, the more you align. Continue with sincere worship and do not let the world's noise drown the whispers from within. You might feel isolated or misunderstood again. That's okay. It means you're still walking the path few dare to tread. Don't spoil this sacred moment by returning to old habits or seeking quick comforts. If Allah has begun to build a weapon inside you, that weapon must be kept sharp with patience, faith, and humility. Remember, the strongest steel is forged in the hottest fire. Above all, trust the process. Even when you can't see the full picture, your patience will be rewarded. Your efforts will not be wasted. And this moment, July 19th, is the doorway to something you were born for, something eternal. Chosen one, if you've reached this point in the message, know this. You are not ordinary. You are not here by accident. Allah's hand is upon you, and He is about to move in ways your mind cannot yet comprehend. This moment, the words you've heard, the feelings you've wrestled with, the stirring inside your chest, is all part of a divine plan uniquely crafted for your soul. You were handpicked silently, patiently, lovingly. While the world rushed past, Allah's gaze remained fixed on you. The trials, the solitude, the waiting, they were not punishments, but preparation. You have been groomed to carry a responsibility so great that only those with unwavering faith and patience can bear it. The weapon Allah is building within you is not for destruction, but for light. Light to cut through darkness. Light to guide lost souls. Light to ignite change. Remember, you are not alone in this journey. The angels are with you. The prophets are interceding for you. And the mercy of Allah surrounds you. Your heart's whispers are heard in the heavens. The unseen world watches over your steps. Trust this sacred connection, even when the path is unclear. Now, as promised, I will pray for you. A prayer to activate the divine mission placed within your soul, to strengthen your resolve and to shield you from the forces that seek to divert your path. O Allah, most merciful, most powerful, you have chosen this soul for a purpose greater than they can imagine. Pour into them your divine light and wisdom. Strengthen their heart with unwavering faith. Ignite their spirit with relentless courage and cloak them in your protection. Remove from them every chain that binds their potential and grant them clarity to recognize the path you have laid before them. Turn their struggles into strength, their silence into song, and their patience into victory. Make them a beacon of your mercy in a world hungry for hope. Grant them the ability to carry your message with humility, perseverance, and love. Guide their steps, protect their soul, and grant them success in this life and the hereafter. Now. Chosen one, go forward with confidence. July 19th is not just a date. It is your spiritual awakening, your divine commissioning. Prepare your heart, sharpen your soul, and know that Allah's weapon is about to be revealed through you. May peace, mercy, and blessings be upon you always. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.